lovelies. How are we doing this morning? Coffee, Jesus, I'm good. So, this morning, I want to talk about, see, I named the video Graves in the Gardens. Because I want to talk about grace. I want to talk about how the worst things, when you think about graves, you think about something that's horrible. Death. You think about gardens. They're beautiful. They're full of life. That's what God does. God turns graves into gardens. He takes the worst things that could ever happen and makes them into the best things that could ever happen. So we're in Holy Week, so, here in a couple days, in the timeline of events, tomorrow Jesus will have been betrayed. Morning, Mike. Jesus will have been betrayed and led to ultimately his demise. The next sundown, he'd be dead. He'd go from being captured to being crucified. But I want to talk about the worst things to the best things, and how something that's so horrible. Morning, Craig. Something that is so horrible in terms of Jesus' capture and his beating and his crucifixion. How something, the worst thing ever, can become the best thing ever. Because of that, and because of Christ's willingness to do that, that led to our salvation. That led to our reconciliation to the Father. You look at the worst injustice ever served. And in today's times, we see injustice. We're up in arms, right? I mean, we kneel, we see injustice, we get upset. Look at the worst injustice ever. You take a man who walked a perfect life, lived a perfect life from birth to death, was perfect. And he was beaten unmercifully. He was forced to drag his own cross. Good morning, Kim. He was forced to drag his own cross while he was being beaten, while his hair was being ripped out, while he was being spit on. Drug his own cross willingly to his crucifixion site, to his site of his death, even while being nailed to the cross, still being mocked, still being beaten. He did that willingly for you and for me. So God takes the worst thing ever and makes it the best thing ever. So moments of sadness, like on Friday morning, there'll be, Christ followers will be sad, because you're looking at the worst thing that ever could have happened. And we have to relive that with Christ. Turns into 3 days later a celebration in Easter. And guys, don't get marred in the bunny and the eggs. It's not what it's about. It's about an empty tomb and a folded up napkin that says, "I'm coming back." That's what the celebration is all about. So, the same God that planned the worst thing in your life is the same God that turns it into the best thing. Because he rules every moment of your life. And he rules every moment of my life. He rules every moment of our lives. He is sovereign and in control. It's all about perspective, guys. What you think could be the worst, darkest, most disastrous thing that is happening in your life is in fact a doorway to grace. I read through A New Morning Mercy by Paul David Tripp this morning with Leah, and so powerful. That's where a lot of my thoughts are coming from. They're not my thoughts, they're his. But, and then I watched a video before I went to bed last night of Kathy Lee Gifford sharing Jesus out loud on TV, and it was beautiful. But one thought that she said, one thing that she said as I sat there and watched her erupt on camera in her boldness of faith was, if you had the cure for cancer, would you keep it secret? Would you keep it quiet? We have the malignancy, we have the cure for the malignancy of the soul. And his name is Jesus. Think about that, guys. Think about it. Just kind of sit on that. I'm just going to kind of leave you with that parting thought, because I watched that video and all I can do is lay in bed and cry. Just because everything he's done and everything he's gone through in this Holy Week, he did it all willingly. And I will talk about some things that we would not be able to handle. So, but Christ did it willingly for us. I love you guys. Just kind of sit and think about that. I have the cure for the malignancy of the soul, and I share it with you guys every day. He shares it with you every day, and he appeals for you to hear it every day. I love you guys. Have a happy hump day, and we'll reconvene tomorrow. I'm coming back.